and to see how beautiful it is in the evening, all lit up. It is absolutely spectacular, and it certainly gives me a feeling that and a strong desire to see it used on an ongoing basis in this manner. So the question is, how do we get there? And that's where you and I and the City Council and all the people that are involved in the Historical Society and others that are interested in Greystone have to work together to make it happen. Perhaps there can be more monies coming in from the private sector, and also it was mentioned this afternoon to me that perhaps the funds that we derive from the filming here should be allocated to that restoration fund. And I certainly want to look into that and see if we can't do that, so we build up some significant dollars so that we can do some restoration, and then try to do it in a staged process, step by step. Perhaps room by room even, and getting support for the development, and then we can use those rooms. If we can get to the point where we can have weddings here, and enough, we now have weddings out of doors, but not indoors. If we can use it indoors, it can be substantial revenues can be derived, which we then could use for the further restoration. So you start with a few rooms that you can use for the weddings and other special parties. The hotels make a lot of money from that. It's a great source of revenue for the hotels. Why shouldn't we, at the city in this way, pay for the restoration?
What do you think of the kind of proposed idea as far as a governmental meeting place and headquarters, Pacific Rim type, where your President Clinton can come, or some head of state?
I think it's an excellent idea. Again, it goes to getting the facility into a state where it meets codes requirements for public safety and all. Once we get it to that stage, we could use it for those kind of events, other civic events in the community, as well as I said, revenue producing with either for major corporations having parties here. Having special events here. I mean, I could see like General Motors executives coming out here. We talked about this before and had some analysis done even on that, using it in that manner. And as a part of it, certainly the government people. But I think I mentioned the weddings because that is a tremendous source of revenue, and it's a lot of fun for people to be married here. What a wonderful memory.
I can imagine somebody coming down the grand stairway.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's unique. This is such a beautiful home, mansion, whatever, and it speaks of a bygone era, and we want to preserve it. And thank you for all you've done in the Historical Society in Beverly Hills. What a wonderful organization. Really pleased.
Everybody ought to have a house like this.
It's really nice to be able to use this house. It was really great in its heyday, and I'm glad that we could be here to share this precious moment.
Any community of any size or distinction does have a visiting house, and it would be absolutely the greatest idea since chopped liver.
Looked at the menu, all of this has been in fact drawn from some of the great restaurants that we have all enjoyed. Romanoff's, Perino's, Brown Derby, all part and parcel of the era that came from, sort of this house and the community. So we hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it's not been too much food, Without further ado, let me introduce the president of the Historical Society, Marty Geimer.
When we started planning the tour and the event here at Greystone, unbeknownst to us, the building and safety people came out on the previous week and decided that electricity wasn't up to code. And so Edison came in on Wednesday and shut it down. So that's why the generators, most of the generators, we still had to have a few of them. But what we're trying to do is start the kickoff as far as a Greystone Restoration Fund, tonight and during this event. And what I'd like to do now is introduce the Honorable Allan Alexander. Allan's going to say a few words to us.
Thanks, Marty. I tell you, it's dangerous for me to be here tonight because I've never been here at night like this, and I've never seen it furnished like it's furnished. And I'm absolutely insistent now that it becomes the mayor's house, and I'm gonna I'm gonna sleep here. I'm gonna bring my kids, my dogs, and my wife. Everybody's gonna come here. It is beautiful, isn't it? Isn't this a wonderful evening? This Greystone and historical preservation are so important to our city, and we have not done enough in that regard. And the reason why, when I first got on the council, I was very interested in this, worked on it with regard to one point a museum. We did an analysis and paid to have an analysis done of if we could use it as a corporate center, executive center, and also partially as a museum. All of that stopped several years ago when the recession hit, and that was the reason. It just was not financially in the books, okay? We are coming out of the recession now, as you know, and with the energy that the people here have, and Marty and Jill and Michael and the whole group, Phyllis, with all of the energy and excitement about it, I want to kick this thing off again. I want to get it moving again. I know all of you do too. And I am planning to talk at the next council meeting. We have a study session on Tuesday, and I'm going to be talking about this dinner and this weekend and use it as the basis to get things moving again. We need, thank you. We need to move it forward. We can do it in stages, and that's the way we're going to have to do it. But if we can get it to the point where we can use some of the rooms and bring it up to code, we can use it for weddings. Weddings produce income. That money can be then used for the restoration as we expand and go. Get started. As a number of people here tonight said the same thing. Let's just get started. And so with your help and guidance, we can do it. So stand behind us, okay, on it, and let the City Council know when we talk about it that you care about it, and we'll all do it together, because this is the kind of effort that has to be a group effort. It cannot be a person or a small group of people. It has to be a community effort, and we need all of your help, and each of you bring something very important to the community in making Greystone what it once was. I've talked to Marty and others about it, and there's a lot of other ways in which we can show the history of Beverly Hills, use it as part of our visitor center when we get it. We need a visitor center here. There's a lot of people that come here. We need to get the old photos out. I know I'd love a set. I'm sure a lot of people would like them. They're around. We just got to work on these things, and we'll bring it back the way it was. And remember Beverly Hills with its great history. Thank you very, very much.